one game away. Blow up. We're playing for something, man. We're playing for something. It's gotta mean something to you. It gotta mean something. Everything you got. Everything you got. Let's finish this.
Do it, fellas.
Let's go.
Let's do it, fellas.
Finish 2-3. 1, 2, 3. Finish.
You view this season as a failure?
Oh my God. Okay, because I'm not that up. You asked me the same question last year, Eric. Okay. Do you get the promotion every year on your job? No, right? So every year you work is a failure. Yes or no? No. Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, I don't know, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success.
You ready to make history? Come on now. Yeah. You know, there's these two words. And when I say them, people get goosebumps cause they know what happens next. So without further ado,
free smoke.
Look, scared cause I'm drowning in silence with bad thoughts. These days I don't have nothing to say, man, the bag talks. I put in headphones on my driver. Pull up to the spot and give a good dick and Godiva. I can't lie, I'm uninspired. No more pillow talking about nonsense. I only stick around to put some band-aids on my conscience. I don't know why I feel so bad, nigga. That's what we do, no foundation. We don't build no more, we just screw. Half a bottle of Henny, girl, I'm going with the wind. The same niggas say they happy for me, ain't want me to win. So I'm done on my friends. Don't need help popping Coronas and reminiscing. I just call up Big Bro J and say it's time for venting. If I live forever, I hold this hate for some centuries. You don't know how much or how you doing what it meant to me, but motherfuck all that. I don't even offer up the time to make the call back. Stupid Lodo, if they don't get the picture now, man, I crop them out of the photo. I can't relate to my peers. Been doing this shit for years. I'm motivated by fears. I took the wheel and I steer. My sound not dictated by fuck boys in Atlanta. Stay gifted like this album was ghost written by Santa Bars forever, like they decided to throw me under Slammer. Every song's a hit like they picture me underhanders. I could drop a million songs, but they never gon' understand us. Soapbox sermons for niggas never giving chances. Fight our whole lives to get these weak ass advances. Work twice as hard for the shit that they getting handed. And this ain't even nothing we chose, nigga, we branded. Still can't tell why all of these niggas mad at me. I'm trying to get 100 so I can put my team on salary. Give it all to the art, man, I turn my life to a gallery. Man, damn, what a fucked up masterpiece. 1100 shots and I swear, man, I felt them all. If we ain't even good on our block, man, who can we call? Pre-decline state of mind, we broke crabs in the barrel. Got us fighting our folk, man, this shit just a life of peril.
The 0-2 to Turner, and he throws this one deep left field. Trey Turner, grand slam, home run on an 0-2 pitch. The United States takes a 9-7 lead.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Kicking It with Saint. I am your host, Saint. When the sunshine will shine together, told you I'll be here forever, said I'll always be your friend. Yo, Rihanna got some bangers, bro. Rihanna's hit list is timeless, bro. Come on, rude boy. Yo, I haven't had the proper voice exercises today, vocal exercises today, so I'm a little bit off vocally right now. So I'm gonna say the singing till I, to the pipes get a little bit better. But listen, got a lot to talk about today. This is a Washington Commanders episode. The show will be based around the Washington Commanders. I will start this week my episodes of, I got court on Tuesday, so who knows what I'll be doing on Tuesday, but I will start this week my episodes of the predicting the division winners, MVP, and all that good stuff. But gotta start off with the Washington Commanders. Now, I do want to get into this Eric Bieniemy, Ron Rivera thing. Before I get into that, though, I gotta talk about these Washington fans, man. So I saw that there was a petition going around to change the Washington Commanders' name back to the Washington Redskins. And you know, every day I struggle to understand why a certain type of ignorance lives inside of people. And why does it stay inside of people? Well, like, why do people have such prolonged ignorance? Like, why can't people let shit go at times? You know what I'm saying? Like, when ignorant people lose a battle, why do they keep fighting to try to win that war? Like, they don't even, like, it's no longer about the war to them. They continue to try to win a battle they already lost. You lost this battle of keeping a racist name. Why don't you now win the war of just getting a better name? Because Commanders is a trash name. The Washington football team was a great name. I understand why you chose not to keep that name, because it's not like the other names. It's more of a soccer type of name. I get it. But you could have, you could win a war in trying to just get a great name that would bring along a great scheme color, a great, like, when you have a great name with a great color and a great mascot, that can change the whole vibe of the team. The fans show up with that certain type of color on. It's certain type of chants and things that start because of that logo or that, like, it's so many things that come from having a great name and whatnot. Now, it's the difference between having a great name that people can get behind and an ignorant name that's existed for so long that that's what I grew up on. It's very much ignorant. The Redskins' name was changed for a reason. Now, you do have those ignorant people who get on the internet and will lie and say, I'm Cherokee and I like the name. Those are just white people. Or you even have those people that's partial Cherokee, got some Native American in their blood who say, well, I'm partial, I'm half Cherokee. I believe I like the name. We should change it back. You even have those rare individuals who are full-blooded Native Americans who have absolutely no problem with the name. And to those people, I just say those are people who have been so far removed from their culture that they don't even understand the ignorance in that. Also, you just got young, ignorant individuals who don't understand their own history. They grew up and been ingrained in white culture for so long that any time they see something that could be racist, it's not racist to them because they've been whitewashed for so long. That's just the nature of the beast. I see young black men every single day who have no problem with a white man walking around saying the N-word. Because to him, I mean, if we say it, they should be able to say it. And if we don't want them to say it, then we shouldn't say it. That's not how that works. But when you're a young black man whitewashed in a white America, you will tend to have those thoughts. Especially if you're not brought up with parents who teach you that, no, that's not how that works. So that's just the nature of the beast. But I'm here to tell you, that name should never go back to the Washington Redskins. Why? Because it is offensive. Because it is racist. And I don't care if a partial Cherokee or even a full-blooded Native American have no problem with it. The fact of the matter is, when we try to progress to a society that is not racist, with no racial undertones under things, that's inclusive to everybody, that name cannot stay. That's not the color of a Native American. So why would we sit around and think it's okay for that to be a thing, a mascot, a logo? Well, I grew up watching the Redskins. And you can still grow up watching the Washington team. Just because it's a new name with a new logo don't mean it's a different team. Teams change over time, all the time. The Los Angeles Lakers have not always been in LA. They still kept the same fan base. It's weird how that works. The Baltimore Ravens have not always been in Baltimore. The Indianapolis Colts have not always been the Indianapolis Colts. We can go through a history of professional teams that move from city to city, state to state, change names, change colors, change logos, change schemes, and you still like them all the same. Now, I just want to say, to me, it's insane that people get attached to teams and not the players that play for the teams, because it don't matter if the logos and all that shit change. It's the players that give those things meaning, not just simply that logo. So when I hear people say, oh, you know, I grew up watching the Redskins, I can't cheer for this other team. You didn't grow up watching the Redskins. You grew up watching players put on that logo and that uniform and go out there and ball out. Just the same way they doing it now. The team didn't change cities. It didn't change coasts. It didn't change states. Exact same Washington team that's trying to be more progressive and inclusive. And with so many, you know what I find so funny? I see the media every day get on TV and say something about Dan Snyder and how bad an owner he was. Why don't they get on TV and also include that maybe his bad ownership had a lot to do with the fact that he had a toxic, bad-ass fan base? Because I realized nobody liked to get on TV and go at fans no more. But when people started going at the Philadelphia fans, look at how offended they got. But look at what they did to change, because they knew they were a problem. To boo a player who done given his life to you, basically. He said, I'm coming to this city. I choose this city to play for, this fan base to play in front of. For you to then boo him. You see what Philly do now? They cheered my guy, America's shortstop, Trey motherfucking Turner. Always gonna love you, my guy. I see, I'm a different type of fan because I don't boo my players, especially players that play for my team. I might be honest about a player, Patrick Queen, but I'm never gonna boo a player. I might be done with a player in the sense that I know this player cannot get better in this scheme on this team, Patrick Queen. But I'm never gonna boo a player. What does that do for them? But you see what's standing, giving Trey Turner a standing ovation, letting him know that, bro, we got your back. We fuck with you, bro. You chose us. Out of every team you could have played for, you could have stayed with the Dodgers. You chose to come play for the Philadelphia Phillies, bro. We appreciate you, bro. Look at what's happened since. All the booing that y'all did to my guy Nicholas Castellanos last year. Look at what happened. Now, shout out to my guy Nick. He just thick-skinned. Y'all never really gave him the ovation y'all gave Trey, but he just figured it out because he that guy. But the love that you give him now, look at how even greater he done extended his play. If you gave every player the love that you give Bryce Harper, imagine how much better these players could be. I'm so happy that Bryce and Stott haven't had to deal with fans specifically targeting him like Alec Boehm had to deal with. And shout out to those players who had to go through that fire and come out the other end better without the standing ovation. But when you decide to rock with players, look at what happens. Now, back to the original thing. When it comes to you ignorant Washington fans, Dan Snyder is the only thing I ever see talked about on TV, but I never see people go at the fans. You got a petition of ignorant, racist ass fans trying to go, and you can continue to try to say you're not racist, that I just grew up with this name. You're racist. It's funny how I don't see a lot of teams named the Washington Crackers, the Washington Wetbacks, the Washington Niggers. It's funny how those ain't names, but we can have a Washington Redskins name. And that's just perfectly fine. And I never see ESPN get on TV and address it. You baby these fans. The sports media done baby these fans for likes and views and clicks because they don't want to put a mirror to these fans. The only time they ever want to go at a fan is when the fans finally go at them. They wait till they get attacked, till they go on the defensive. But all along, they could go and help other people when they being attacked by just ridiculousness, and they never do. Why not get on TV and talk about this goofball petition from a ton of racist Washington fans wanting to go back to an original name that is so very clearly viewed in racism or brewed in racism? Why ain't that talked about? We always talk about the ignorant ass owner. Why don't we talk about the ignorant ass fans? This is food for thought. But that name should never come back. Do I like the Washington Commanders name? No, I like it a billion times more than the Washington Redskins. I love the Washington football team. Like I said, I understand that probably is not ever going to be the name of the football team because this ain't soccer. I get it. However, I don't understand why they didn't go with the Washington Red Wolves or some of these other cool names that they had. You could have the stadium howling and shit, bro. Like Washington's ownership group missed the mark so many times. But it's so hard to blame them at all these different points when you have such a ignorant, racist fan base for the most part. And it's not just white people. Because it's black people that live in that area. A lot of black people live in that DMV area. So it's a lot. I'm not just attacking white people. No, sir. It's a lot of black people down there that clearly don't care about Native Americans the way they want people to care about us. Because if you did, you would not be okay with continuously saying, oh, now I do understand it's an older generation of people. It's a lot of older Washington fans that's the ones that's with this mindset. But the name should never go back. End of discussion. And if you one of those fans, one of those bigots, one of those racists that bitch and cry about it, that sign that petition, don't worry. If you believe in heaven and hell, it's going to be a real warm spot for you waiting when you get down there. Now, turning my attention to Ron Rivera and Eric Bieniemy. Earlier this week, a report had came out that Eric Bieniemy, the players, thought that he was too tense, too rough, too, kind of rude. I saw a report that a player went to Ron and basically said, he talked to us, This is just silly, bro. And this is exactly why I never wanted Eric Bieniemy to sign with the Washington Commanders. This is exactly why. Because it ain't just the players, bro. It's Ron Rivera. And then Ron Rivera came out the next day, I put my foot in my mouth, blah, blah, blah. That's not surprising to me, bro. Ron Rivera has been overrated since he came out of Carolina. But it's very funny to me how you didn't put those losses when Cam Newton was no longer that superstar quarterback at the helm anymore. You didn't put those losses on Ron Rivera. You put them on Cam not being there. Luke Kuechly no longer there, but you don't put it on Ron Rivera for not even still being a better. It's on, he don't got the players. So when he got a team full of talent, Ron Rivera, a great head coach, coach of the year. All that talent leave, it's on those players, not on Ron Rivera. He come to Washington. He got them to a playoffs with 6 wins in a year that the whole division was garbage. You think that the Washington Commanders going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, who nobody seemed to believe in when they get to the playoffs? But you're not telling me that you're looking at that Washington. And that's the real shame. Washington's roster not even that bad. Got a great defensive front. I really do believe they should trade either Jonathan Allen or DeAndre Payne. Or De'Aaron Payne. I don't think they're going to trade either one of them. One of them just got an extension, so it is what it is. But they both play defensive tackle in a league where I feel like you should really more so be running a 2 linebacker scheme or a nickel scheme. Not 4 linemen, not 4 defensive, 4 linemen on the line. I'm not really. Unless you got a bunch of Joey Bosa's or what the Philadelphia Eagles is trotting out there on a weekly basis. In a passing league, you need more guys who can play in coverage, in my opinion. But, that's just my opinion. Because even Philadelphia's scheme got fucked in the Super Bowl. That 4-5 lineman scheme, where you sacrifice guys in the back end in that secondary because you trust the guys you already have. Even the great secondary players need help at times, especially when you're going up against a Pat Mahomes. But, listen, they've overrated Ron Rivera for a very long time. I said it the last year. I've been going in on Ron Rivera for the entire time I started my YouTube channel. Ron Rivera is a good head coach. He might be a good culture changer. I don't know. I just don't know how to judge how. I do know how to judge it, but I don't know. As far as the culture, it felt like Cam Newton had more to do with the culture in Carolina than it did with Ron Rivera. It just felt like he was a guy at the helm who we kept talking about. He a good defensive mind. He never did anything for the offense in Carolina. Once Cam Newton could no longer be great on his own, Carolina's offense failed. That right there tell you that is not on a player. When a player can no longer be great because of his pure talent alone, which Cam Newton just was killed behind that line and the NFL never did nothing about it. But when a player's talent can no longer carry a team anymore, that lets you know all along that the player never had real coaching from the coach. Because a coach should be able to put the team in a position where Cam didn't have to sacrifice himself all the time. And you keep talking about how great Ron Rivera was defensively. Go look at some of them players Ron Rivera had on defense, bro. The Thomas Davises of the world. What's the Josh Norman in his prime when he was out there? Luke fucking Kuechly. Like Charles Davis. The guys that's over there right now, the Brian Burns of the world, the Shaq Thomas of the world. Like, come on, bro. It wasn't like he had a bunch of nobodies out there that he had to coach up. He had top tier defensive players over there. So the fact that you never decided, that the sports media never really tried to take a deeper look into Ron Rivera's coaching tenure in Carolina, that's not shocking to me. But what's going on in Washington, that shit don't shock me either. Ron Rivera benefited that 1 year that everybody sucked. And because he was a better coach that year than all the other coaches in that division, sure, he got his team to where they needed to be. However, he haven't given not one quarterback on that team a bill of confidence. You know you got bad quarterbacks. You know it's not really a difference in the quarterback. So what should you do next? You should coach the motherfucker up. Get him as confident as possible. You can't bench him every time he go on a little bad streak of games. Especially if we already determined these quarterbacks ain't that much different. The one that I decide to coach up the most is the one that will probably have the best chance. I can't flip-flop like I've been doing every year I've been in Washington. But it's funny how nobody ever blamed Ron for anything that went on in Carolina, for anything that went on in Washington. It's always somebody there to be the scapegoat for Ron Rivera. And I got a problem with that. Because y'all just not holding this man accountable. And you see, people think I only go at white coaches, white players, and whatnot. What's Ron Rivera? Because I've been going at him for 2 years. I don't think he that great. I think he been blessed with a lot of talent in Carolina and a generational talent in Cam Newton, who never got the proper offensive coaching around him and players around him to get to truly touch his ceiling. Ron Rivera got a lot to do with that. He the one who hired the offensive coordinators. He the one that helped pick the offensive talent to go around there. Am I blaming him for Kelvin Benjamin? No. But you didn't replace him either. You saw Ted Ginn out there dropping pass after pass, and he was there for longer than a year. What am I supposed to make of that? I just want to understand how coaches who don't actually do no fucking coaching keep getting passes. I understand Andy Reid getting passes. I understand John Harbaugh to an extent getting passes. I understand Sean Payton. I understand Bill Belichick. Ron Rivera had a lot of talent. Where was that coaching that separated him from the other coaches? When was it not just the talent carrying him? Because you can celebrate the 6-win season that he had in Washington to get into the playoffs, but I'm not. And I see everything that's happened in Washington since. So am I shocked that he threw his offensive coordinator under the bus? No. Am I shocked that he got a team that clearly seemed to be a team full of babies? A team full of, I'm not going to say what I want to say, because I want to be able to talk to players in the future. However, am I surprised that he got a team full of guys who so used to having this low tier level of coaching with no expectations, no type of punishments when you don't meet expectations, no type of true disappointment and reactions to said disappointment? Am I shocked that they would react to a head coach or a offensive coordinator that's been to 3 Super Bowl, 5 AFC championships, had the best quarterback in the NFL, was coaching under one of the best coaches of all time? Am I surprised that they don't like a coach to come in with some type of expectations? No, I'm not. Because that's the environment that Ron Rivera has allowed to happen, build in Washington. It's not just Dan Snyder. It's also Ron Rivera. And as soon as they decide to get a better head coach over there, maybe then they'll get a better quarterback also. But I done seen a lot of coaches make do with low-tier quarterbacks and great talent everywhere else. Not be Super Bowl champions, but be winning teams. Tennessee. I'm going to give you an example. I wasn't just going to leave you hanging. Who you talking about, Saint? Give us an Tennessee. Yeah. Most of y'all don't think Joe Flacco was good, but a lot of talent around him, and the Ravens ended up being good. It's a lot of teams with the Seahawks last year. You don't think Geno a top 5 quarterback, but it was a lot of talent around him, and he elevated his level of play and great coaching. Ron Rivera seemed to not be able to do that, and we keep giving him a pass. Not we. I don't give Ron Rivera a pass. I was saying Carolina should have fired his ass. I've been saying Washington should have fired his ass. Listen, Ron Rivera is to me, I know what type of coach Ron Rivera is now. He is not a coach that can build up a culture with a bunch of bad players already there, or a team that does not already have a winning culture with a winning quarterback. And you might say, well, Saint, he started off with Cam Newton. I already established to you Cam Newton survived off of his talent and the talent on those defensive players, not Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera, the same dude to bench Cam Newton for the first drive or quarter of a game for no fucking reason. And that ended up costing them that game against the Seahawks. So, But I'm just trying to figure out when there's going to be some type of expectations for Ron Rivera. If not now, when? Because all I'm saying is, what has he done? What is the great thing Ron Rivera done? Like I said, if you get Ron Rivera to a team that already got an established quarterback, already got a good defense, they just need a little bit of guidance, Ron Rivera the man for the job. But if you got a team where a quarterback need to build up confidence, where he can't have a coach that's going to bail on him every other 3 weeks, where it's a defense that might not always, be the best defense, but they got a lot of talent there. But they need a coach that's going to get everything under control, that's going to come in and be stern but fair. Then Ron might not be the man for the job. All right? Because throwing your OC under the bus as soon as he get there, they haven't even played a game yet. And then, bro, for the players to be so confident going to Ron, bitching about a coach being too tough or rude. What is going on? Listen, I don't condone coaches being abusive. But if you can't be coached up, bro, coached hard, bro, Washington, to the players, you guys suck. You might not individually suck, but as a team, you guys are ass. That's why changes have been made. That's why the team done been bought by a new owner. That's why the team always in the headlines for something negative. That's why your team had an opening. That's why you're probably going to have a head coach opening next year. That's why most great coaches, good coaches with something to prove or with something to lose, wouldn't end up in Washington. Get over yourselves. Do you want to be great or not? Or now, if you just want, to be great individually, get paid great, eventually, get to a point where you can leave and go to a team that's got a good chance of winning where you don't got to do too much no more. Cool. This message ain't for you. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you're one of those players that actually want to win, that's actually trying to win, that wants something to change, that's tired of being a laughing stock every year, be coached. Because Bieniemy probably going to get you closer to where you need to be than Ron Rivera going to get you. All right? I understand Ron Rivera was a player. I understand Ron Rivera should be respected and all that. Same with Bieniemy. I'm looking at their coaching records. And all I know is Bieniemy done been to multiple Super Bowls, had to coach in high pressure situations. His offense I done heard the championship players talk highly of Bieniemy. You show me the high tier championship player that done talk good about Ron Rivera. He done got there. Whoopity fucking do. Bieniemy done got there 3 times and won twice. He was a huge part of that. That's what the winning players tell me. That's what they spew to the world. So, how about allowing him to try to get you coached up so you can possibly be a champion one day? And Ron, I mean, my goodness, bro. Like I said, I'm not shocked by none of your actions. But I mean, bruh, what's up with you, man? Is this one of them things where just because your players had your back during your cancer battle that you always gonna go to their defense blindly? Or do you actually still want to be a head coach, bruh? Because if you so soft now that this is the thing that you do to your coaches, he didn't curse out a player's mother. He didn't tell him, oh, your mother should be disappointed in you. He didn't go at a player's child and nothing. Like, he didn't hit a player. He coaching him. Washington, bro. You got ignorant fans, bad coaches, bad ownership, but who knows? You got new ownership now. I guess Washington not going to be the team that I picked to win that division when it come around, huh? That being said, I appreciate you guys for joining me on another episode of Kicking It with Saint. Tell somebody you fuck with them. Tell somebody you love them. You could be anything in the world. Choose to be kind to somebody. I'm on the hunt for 25 subscriptions. Listen. Like, subscribe, share, please. It helps me out a lot. I am a growing sports channel, but I feel like I'm better than really all these sports channels out there, bro. Because I'm just the real one, bro. I'm just the real one. And I feel like a lot of people gonna appreciate what we doing over here, all right? And I'm also building a team. Listen, I'm looking for a lot of different people to do a lot of different things, but you got to understand we growing together, all right? So if you think you can help make this channel better, if you think you can help make the show better, if you got suggestions, leave them in the comment section, or you can shoot me a message at my email at johnCapers11, that's 11, at gmail.com. Again, that is johnCapers11 at gmail.com. Shoot me a message. I will get back to you as soon as possible. I check my emails every day, all the time. Thank you again. Like, subscribe, share. Have a dope fucking day. Saint out.
I got the moves like hot sauce. Lil' mama taking the top off. I'm laying down getting topped off. After this, she know she getting knocked off. I know she loving the money, so I keep on thumbing and thumbing. She say she horny when she taking shots, so I keep them coming and coming. Now I'm putting dick in her tummy, scoop her up like I'm raking her something. You would think shawty red track, the way that she running and running. You getting dumber and dumber. You out here chasing the bone. After she finished from giving me dome, the Uber is taking her home. Tight.